Hello, welcome to my channel. And today I thought I would guide you through this art journal process that I have made. And yeah, so for once I used acrylics instead of what I usually use. I often go for watercolors or sprays or yeah, quite anything. But I started by mixing some acrylic paint together and adding it with my palette knife. And I go for turquoise, yellow ochre and some brownish nuances. And I use both my palette knife and a sponge to add them, just to get the different kind of effects and texture from the paint. So that's a good way to get some interest, I think. But as I said, I'm not that used to work with acrylics. But I'm just using kind of a metallic nib thingy here to make some scribblings in the wet paint. Could be nice for background. And this is a homemade stencil that I have made a long time ago. So I'm just using the darker teal nuance here. And this stencil is from Panduro, my workplace. And it has a lot of different kind of leaves that I like to use. So I'm just adding some different, just as usual, really intuitive. I have no plan. And I'm using the yellow ochre here and a stencil from Prima Marketing with tiny leaves. Just to make just to have some fun, I guess. And I'm using the acrylic paints from Winsor Newton and also from Panduro's own acrylic paints. And I think that I want to use the stencils kind of like outlining them with my Posca pen. So I'm just doing it just to try and see what kind of effect I get. I usually don't use stencils that way, but why not? To try. And I like it. I don't know, one thing that I don't really appreciate working with acrylics is, I don't know, it's kind of the surface you get, the texture, I don't know. It gets kind of plasticky. I don't know if you know what I mean. But I don't really love it when it's kind of a plasticky surface to work on. But now I'm using another stencil from Altanew. And I'm just adding white paint with a foam roller. Because I want to soften it all up. It was a bit chaotic, or I don't know, too much maybe. And I'm going to use a tag that I made some other time in another video actually. And I want to use it as a focal point here. Alongside with a tag. So that's what I'll do. And I like it, but I feel like something is missing on the left side. So I decided to make kind of a border thingy and just measuring out approximately how I want it. Because as I said, something was missing for me. And I'm using the leftover paint from my palette with a brush I want to use the color up, of course. I don't like to waste it. Of course, you can use the leftover paint in. I know some people have kind of a leftover journal. They just put it in there and then they create in it. I think it's a good idea, but I don't have one. Sometimes I just put the leftover paint on some paper I have on hand, and then I can use it for punching out or for background scraps or something. Yeah, but I'm just adding the border thingy here. As I said, I think something was missing here on the left side. So I just intuitively made these borders. And I'm also thinking, why not to use the things I cut off and put them in the top corner. Use it all. And I quite like it now, but I really feel that the focal point needs some shading because I love shading. So I'm using my Derwent Inktense pen for some shading around the doily and around the tag and around the frame. Yeah, I love shading, as I said before. I'm using some of the leftover paint also for the edges of the spread. My watercolor brush just to dilute the pencil strokes a bit, makes it for a softer shade. Some more of the leftover turquoise paint on the doily. I want it to look a bit more, I don't know, distressed, dirty. That sounded weird, but you know what I mean. I'm also gonna add some sequins. I think it's pronounced sequins. Sequins. It feels like sequins is better. And these are some texts, quotes from Mermy Small Art. And I just added them. And they are lovely quotes. And they fit here, I believe. So this is done. This is the finished piece. And yeah, I'm quite happy with it. And I like the experiments and the playing intuitively. And yeah, you can always fix it up if you don't like how it's going, you know. And you don't have to be afraid. And yeah, so thank you for watching. I hope you will leave me a comment, maybe a like, and subscribe to my channel if you haven't already, because I have a lot of videos if you're interested. So thank you and stay safe out there and have a nice day. Bye.